Vasudeva Kutumbakam, and it means we are one family. And of course, people have forgotten this. And so when water comes in one side of the boat, I can't say sitting on the other side of the boat, it's never going to reach me. The water is going to come creeping in, and it's definitely going to reach me also, and it's already doing that. So I think that when people understand that they can make a conscious choice to contribute either to well-being or to further disaster, I think they'll begin to think in the right way and make the right choices.
Many of my questions you already shared in your answers, but if there is hope that you see in the present system, in the present food system, in the present system of consumption, do you see still there is some hope? And what are those points of hope that you can see? This is a common question for both of you.
Yeah. When you say the present food system, there are many food systems. There's an ecological system, there's a local system, there's a biodiverse system, and then there's an industrial system which is based totally on fossil fuels and fossil chemicals. And it's a globalized system based only on profits and trade and commodification. There's a corporate system where the corporation should shape the rules. They wrote the rules of the World Trade Organization. And that's why, on the one hand, there's so much more emissions. 50% of the greenhouse gas emissions come from an industrial globalized food system. 75% diseases come from an ultra-processed food system, which has been spread all over the world. We weren't eating junk food in India till 1995. It wasn't allowed. Our laws didn't allow it. Our laws require that food, even when processed, be cooked with love and care. Therefore, it was kept in the cottage industry, as it was called, where women did most of the processing. And then, of course, the big junk food industry entered. But there is the other system. It never got extinguished. Even today, 80% of the food we eat comes from small farms. This is FAO telling us this. Small farms that are less than 20% of the land. And most farmers of the world are women. They're giving us food. But it's not just human beings. Sister Jayanti talked about Vasudev Kutumbakam. I've been talking this language ever since I started ecological work, for 50 years. And I wrote a whole book called Earth Democracy. What would the democracy of the earth look like if we treated the earth as a family? And my work over the last 4 decades on the food issue has told me that actually we need to give up our human arrogance. That we are, of course, eaters, but we are not the only producers. Our research in Vandana shows that 1/3 of the food we eat comes from the pollinators that pollinate our crops. Huge amounts come from the soil organisms, the mycorrhizal fungi, the earthworms. So you have to feed them. You can't spray poisons on them and drive them to extinction. So all beings, or the whole earth family, comes into play to produce the food. And the food is for all. In India, the women make rangoli on their doorstep for rice flour to feed the ants. In the tribal areas where rice evolved, and behind me is the Annapurna, holding sugarcane which evolved in India and rice which evolved in India. And in the areas of Chhattisgarh and Orissa where rice evolved, where we have an amazing seed banks of rice, the women make these beautiful decorations. And I thought there'd been a festival. So I said, what festival did you have that you made these beautiful decorations? And the women just turn around and say, no, this is for the birds when there's no rice in the fields. We are a civilization that knows that food is for all. Food is our connector. Food is a currency. Food is sacred. And with that, we can make sure that no one goes hungry. No being goes hungry. No child goes hungry. No poor person goes hungry. The earth's capacity is there. The human capacity is there. We just have to stop the bad habits. And bad habits are meant to be stopped. Good habits are meant to be cultivated.
One further thing I just want to add. Within some societies, and it's not north or south, but it's within a certain cultural level, It's considered light to leave food in your plate. And my mother used to teach us, and she was a yogi. And she told us every little bit of food that you take, you must eat. Otherwise, you're starving somebody else. And who knows, with the law of karma, whether it's going to come back to you and you'll find yourself starving one day. And so she, take as much as you want, but only take what you're going to eat. It mustn't get thrown. And so that's been something on a very simple level that I've observed forever and ever. But multiply that in a bigger scale, and where in some societies so much food is wasted. People go buy, and they stock up their fridges, and at the end of the week, there's still a huge amount that's left, and of course, it gets thrown away. And then the system where even natural foods that don't necessarily have a sell-by date, are given a little sticker now that has to be consumed by such and such a date. And it may be so, may not be so, but then it's considered out of date and so on. So the whole system that we have in which food waste is acceptable, we need to change this consciousness, this mindset, and say, no, it's not a good idea to waste. We need to feel much more. There's enough for everyone's need, but there'll never be enough for anyone's greed. And so I think that one thing that we can do to improve things immediately within the family, within our community, is create this awareness. You must not waste food. That would be.
One message that Jayanti gives is to really see if I am consuming what I have taken or I am responsible for wasting it. And the message that I pick up from Dr. Vandana is that give up your bad habits, give up your arrogance, because that is the root cause of all the suffering that others are going to suffer, and maybe in future I'll be suffering. So, just last question for both of you. When Vandanaji, you picked up the book called Bhule Bisre Anaj, The Forgotten Food, I wanted to ask you, what is that one food item or a dish from your childhood that you really think is a very good solution if people go back to that dish? And same question to Jentiman as well.
In a very interesting way, khichdi has been my favorite since childhood and stays my favorite, not only because it's so simple to make, but it's so nourishing to eat. And the beautiful thing is, khichdi is the food you eat when you're sick and you can't digest anything else. Khichdi is what you make at Pongal, at every festival. So it's the highest celebration of food and the food that takes care of you. It's a comfort food and a sacred food.
Very nice. What about you, Jentiman?
For me, my staple diet is dal. I'm the simplest of all, dal, mung dal. But yeah, I'm easy. For one thing, as you said at the beginning, that food wasn't a fixation for her. But of course, the value of it can't be underestimated. The same for me. I don't put that as a priority. And I love fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, everything that nature provides. Really beautiful. I appreciate it greatly.
If you had to pick one fruit or a vegetable that you think is also quite close to your own nature, which would be that one fruit or vegetable?
Mango.
Oh, and why
Even
so?
for me, mango. And we have 9 varieties of mango at the Navdanya farm. It's beautiful. The taste of and mango has emerged from, has been domesticated in India, Mangofera indica. So yeah, it's such a delicious crop.
So, what does makes mango so special for you, Gentlemen?
The fragrance, the flavor, the sweetness, and the nourishment it gives. You really feel very content and full.
So, I have some interesting food cards. These food cards we developed, and they have some very interesting spiritual thoughts connected to every food item. If I want you to choose one from, uh, I'm just sharing some names of the food items and you pick them. Cabbage, tomato, cauliflower, cherry, spinach, pumpkin, apple.
I'll take spinach.
Okay. So let me read what spinach says for you. Vandana ji, you are rich and deep like spinach. You are concentrated. Your concentrated goodness brings strength and vigor to all you meet. So
Okay.
you are absolutely like a spinach, deep and rich. For you,
I'll,
gentlemen.
I'll take the cherry.
So, Sister Jayanti, you are contented. Like the cherry, you have everything you need within you. Contentment makes you stable and you bring comfort to others around you. So,
Lovely.
so these cards are something that we all thought about, that not just eating these food items, but thinking deeply about those, how this food item becomes part of me and how I start reflecting on such food varieties. On the verge of a goodbye to our audience, if there is one thing that you would ask them to do that you are doing personally in your life, and what benefit that activity has done to you, what would be that one message?
For me, it would be gratitude. To be grateful for life, to be grateful for the sunshine, to be grateful for the food, the water. The attitude of gratitude is such a very important blessing to have in life. And so just move along with gratitude at all times.
So, Vandanaji, one thing that you have been doing in your personal life that you can ask others to adopt.
Uh, the same as Sister Jayanti, I just describe it in a scientific language. The law of return, the law of giving back, which is gratitude, giving back to the soil, what the part of what the soil has given you, and the plant and the earths have given you. That's organic farming. That is taking care of the future. That's taking care of the food and water for all. And yeah, it's gratitude.
Well, thank you so much to both of you. I know we have run a little bit above the time.
And it's been beautiful to connect with you again, Vandanaji. And I
It
hope
always is wonderful to be with you and see you. And lots of love. Bye bye.
hope we connect personally soon.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Thank you. Om Shanti. And thank you, Shantanabai, for bringing us
Thank you,
together.
Shantanu.
Dear friends, I hope this conversation has left you thinking about few little things that you can do. There is so many things that we can really do, but what is meaningful is that we start. You can start with what Sister Jayanti said, to become more and more conscious and lead a life of gratitude, to start taking time to think about the sacredness of everything that I am surrounded with. Or you can start with what Vandanaji shared, that you are not just a consumer, you are a conscious consumer. When I let go of my arrogance, when I let go of my bad habits, I become a conscious consumer. I'm able to make a big difference. And both of them had many powerful messages, whether it is to do with millets, whether it is to do with nutritional and delicious modern takes on ancient food grains that are millets, or whether it was to do with water, the way I see my relationship with water, the choices that I make every day. A lot to take. Please do take something from this and let us know how this journey began. One thing that you also learned was that we had very interesting food cards that we played with. You can also play with these food cards, and they are available on our website to download. You can download them from the link below, and you can also download them from our website. The website is www.foodcareinitiatives.org. Use them. There's a beautiful toolkit which is there, which you can use for your parties, for your events, for your workshops, for your gatherings, and make every gathering a very meaningful gathering, a gathering that take cares of each other while taking care of the food. In the website, we also have some meditations, some reflections that can help you connect with more in-depth heart with the food system. So do use the website well and enjoy having a visit. So thank you so much once again for joining us to celebrate the World Food Day 2023. Water is life, water is food.